Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to continue with this ideal romantic partner series for idols, for K-pop idols. So today is going to be the turn of ATEEZ Sun. Actually, he had been in my list for a while, and I don't know why I thought that I already read for Sun in this romantic series, but I guess I didn't. But I had a lot of requests about him, but I was like, oh, I done it already, so I wasn't paying attention. But then I checked and I didn't read for him in this particular romantic series. So let's do it. Let's do it today. So to all the people whose bias is Sun, I hope that you enjoyed it, and please share it with others. 18s, if you know them, that they are interested. And of course, as always, I'm available. You can email me if you want to request a tarot reading, a personal tarot reading for yourself. Of course, like I always clarify, these are paid. So the only free ones I do are on this channel and for uh, the idols and the groups. So let's start. Let's talk a bit about Sun's energy. He is he's a Sun in Cancer and his moon is in Gemini, and I think his Venus is in Leo, because there's something about Sun that always reminds me about Leo energy. And I think I talked to some astrologers that were ATEEZ as well, and I always ask them, is there some like potential that he has a sort of like an energy of Leo? Because when I see him, I don't think about Cancer energy. I think more of Leo energy. For example, if I give you an example of mine, that why I feel this way. The same happens with NCT 127, the leader of the old NCT, Taeyong. He is also a Cancer Sun, but his moon is in Leo. So whenever I see him, and he reminds me of Leo energy, even his features in his face, it's amazing. I'm like, oh, that's his Leo moon. But in the case of Sun, I cannot quite figure out what it is, because apparently he doesn't have any, except for his Venus. I think he doesn't have much Leo influence. So yeah, but he's great. We love Sun. So I was thinking that I always talk about astrology, and I think I'm going to do a bit more, or not research, but I'm going to be mentioning not only the moon side, but for this series I'm going to also talk about their Venus. Of course, that I'm going to take this data as a very general, basic, because if we think about astrology, it's not enough saying he has the moon here or the Venus in this sign. It has also to do with the houses, with the aspects. Astrology is very complex, but we still can get a bit of information from the moon sign, that is the emotional inner world, inner needs, their intimate needs, and we can connect with what they find attractive with their Venus. So we can do that. And okay, let's focus that his moon, his necessities, emotional necessities, are in an inner sign, that it's Gemini, and that he has Venus in Leo. So definitely, why I was like thinking about his Venus in Leo is because all the cards that came out here are a bit dramatic. So they reminded me a bit of Leo energy. It's as if they are telling me a sort of telenovela, a sort of like soap opera, like very dramatic, like a sort of like, like I'm going to mention the cards that he got so you can understand me a bit better. He got the Four of Cups, the Empress, the Seven of Swords, then the Four of Wands. And from the Oracle of Romantic Angels, he got the card of unrequited love. So you see, there's a lot of contradiction here, and there's also a lot of drama, if you would. So if we think about why he would find this ideal, I think that it could be related to his Venus in Leo, to be honest. But let's see. Starting with the Four of Cups, I think that in this deck, actually the scenario, it's the picture. It's very like it shows a lot about courtship and about couples and about, when two people meet and when they are together. So the atmosphere, it's romance, it's romantic, but the Four of Cups is actually not a card that represents like fulfillment, emotionally. Actually, it represents apathy in the in the tip in the in the Rider White Tarot. But here we have a couple, like a gentleman, like doing an advances on a lady, and she seems to be like corresponding him, like she's looking at him in the eye, and he's being like, he's acting all like a gentleman, kissing on her hand, like very polite, but very interested at the same time. And she doesn't seem to mind the kind of attention, there's not like faces of like, oh, I don't want this, I'm not interested. But since this is still the Four of Cups that we are talking about, I think that it actually says that probably for Sun, to make advances on females is actually very easy. In the sense that probably he was born with a flirtatious nature, or actually he has a very like, he's sort of this chameleon that he can like wrap you around his finger without you even realizing it, and that he's really good at getting closer to the person that he likes or that he's attracted to, and that person is not going to actually be aware that he's doing these moves until he's already very close. I think that also the Four of Cups, is showing me that he's probably a guy that he behaves that way with all female or female energy. Like his nature is to be very romantic, or to play this sort of like interaction where he makes you feel lucky, or he makes you feel like flattered by his attention. But I think that there's something here that is like, I don't think it's love, I don't think he approaches females because he's feeling something special for that person. I think he does it because he knows he's good at it. I don't know if I'm explaining myself, but I think he is a bit of, I don't know if you use this word in this time, but it's a bit of a Casanova, a bit of a, I don't want to call him a player because actually I don't see that his intentions are to play, but I think that he definitely knows how to sell himself well with the ladies, that he has this sort of very charming personality, that he does everything very smoothly. And he does it because he can do it and he finds it fun, like he finds human interaction fun, and he loves to see the other person's reaction, in their faces. He loves to see what he makes other people feel, So probably this is why he's also a good entertainer, He's like looking to make a sort of like impact on you. He wants a reaction out of you. He's waiting for you to be like, oh, like, wow. He is like a very innate seducer, I would say. Like, he definitely enjoys it. And And then with the Empress, I feel like what he finds ideal is someone that it's also very feminine, very into their feminine side, someone that a female that, and I'm saying female because I'm seeing a female here, but you know, you can interpret this the way you want to. And I think that he definitely, because if we think about the image of the Empress is someone that is very feminine, and it's also very connected with their charms as well. So probably he finds attractive someone that takes care of themselves, takes care of their image, someone that is very happy doing what they do, you know, someone that irradiates this sort of positive energy, you know, like a creator, also someone very adaptable, a person that is always eager to learn and to grow, you know, not a boring person. Actually, I think he admires a lot that female that is able to create her own destiny, and that is also very admired by other females, you know, that other females respect her, and that she can be a sort of like leader, but it's she doesn't lead you or she doesn't guide you with force. She guides you with her example. You know, for example, she can be like a teacher, she can be a mentor, you know, but she doesn't tell you what to do. She just behaves a certain way that you are like, wow, I want to be her. You know, someone very admired too, and someone that I would say someone that is very beautiful at the same time. I think that he finds that very ideal. You know, this very feminine person, this very but not feminine cute, you know, not feminine like all pink and roses. I think he wants a sort of like sensuality also as well, someone sensual, not just pretty, you know. He wants someone that has this sort of deepness also as well, you know, a very someone very connected with their womanhood, you know, someone that can go from cute to sexy to, you know, to any different variations of what it means to be a female, and that at the same time that she can be a mystery to him, you know, because I don't think he's I don't think he met this person yet, but he knows what he's looking for unconsciously, in the sense that he knows what he's attracted to. It's just that for him, in the process while he's waiting to meet this person, he is also like rehearsing with other females, you know, like, and probably he does get a bit bored because once he notices that you are into him, or that that you are like infatuated with him, that he already got your attention, it seems like he loses the interest, you know. So probably he wants someone that I'm going to explain a bit later why he got the card of unrequited love. So probably this is where the dramatism, you see where I'm going with this? This is where the dramatism comes from. That he wants this sort of like unattainable, unreachable kind of female, you know, someone that is like, oh yes, now we could meet, and no, tomorrow we cannot see each other, and I don't know when we are going to see each other because I have things to do. You know, it's this sort of very like, that doesn't say yes to his desire very easily. And then we have, yes, the Seven of Swords. So yes, I think that he is also this kind of person that he enjoys a bit of tension in the relationship, a bit of, this is the dramatic side that I was mentioning, a bit of like, okay, you say something, I don't want to call it offensive, you know, but probably you say something mean, or you say something that I don't like, but I answer you back, and then we start arguing, and we start like not hurting each other's feelings, but it's this sort of competition, you know, about who is the one in charge, or who is, I think somehow he wants to be dominated by a female. He wants to feel like he has no way out but to surrender to her charms, you know, because he is sort of this, I think he also embodies the energy of the Empress, you know. I think that he's also very feminine in the sense that he can be very tricky, you know, that it's hard to put his nature into words, you know. He actually has a lot of different sides to himself, and he's also very, he's like a chameleon, you know, so you don't know what you're going to get with him. He can be very soft, he can be, one day he can be romantic, one day he can be a bit more dominant, you know. So you, with him, there's this sort of different scenarios and different role plays that you can actually have with him. So, you know, Sun is really versatile, and I think that there's no need to say this because we see this in his performances or in the way he acts. But you know, sometimes what I find that actually for me is really easy to see is the difference between the stage persona and the difference when they are, for example, like talking or in interviews or just being by themselves when the lights are off, you know. And I think that in the case of San, I think that San, yes, he does show himself as this sort of monster on stage, you know, that he's the sort of beast because he is very mesmerizing, he's like powerful. But I think that he can have the potential of being that powerful also in his real life if he wants to. You know, like I think that, you know, there are idols that, yes, they exude, for example, a charm or sexiness on stage, but when you see them on interviews and stuff, they actually are very like, their nature is very soft, or actually they are a bit childish, or they try to be cute, or they try to play this sort of like attitude like, oh, I don't know, that I wasn't aware that I was being sexy, or oh, I'm not aware that I'm handsome, like I'm not aware of my charms, you know, like, oh, I don't know why people would look at my abs if I'm not, like, you know, that sort of like, oh, clueless, you know, clueless about their attractiveness or their impact on others. I know that this is a marketing strategy as well, but I think that in the case of San, um, he can be goofy, he can be funny, he can be innocent in some interactions, but at the same time, there's a sense that you know that he can switch at any moment and become this very confident man. You know, it's like you know that he is the sort of person that he's going to surprise you. You know, this is what I want to say. And then, yes, we have the Four of Wands that, yes, I think that what he wants the most is actually, this is very Venus in Leo. He wants a relationship that he can show off, actually. I think he wouldn't mind people knowing that he's dating, you know, because, or at least his loved ones or his family or his very close circle of friends, it's like he would be the one that he would tell everyone that he's in a relationship. He would talk about this person all the time. He would mention this person all the time. He would show pictures. He would, you know, like he wouldn't hide. He would like show very proudly that he's in a relationship. And actually, I think that for him being in a relationship, it adds a lot of more value to his person. So probably he wants a sort of a partner that is not camera shy, you know, someone that is also very extrovert, that is not shy to be on camera or to get the pictures taken or something like that, because I think that he would show off his partner very proudly to the world if he could. You know, I don't think being an idol is possible, but I think that if you ever find out if when he's older that he's getting married or that he's engaged, he would probably like show it and talk about it very openly. And I think that this is also showing me that he wouldn't mind to have a dating scandal, like if he would find that person, like of course he would try to be respectful to the fans, but at the same time I think that for him, it adds a value. You know how sometimes they people think, actually it's not what they think, actually there's a whole theory behind this, and this is why K-pop idols are so idealized. Is this like, oh, they shouldn't have partners because it makes them less attractive if they are seen like, oh, this guy is taken, or this guy that is trying to flirt with me, or is singing love songs, is not actually singing it to me, is singing it to his girlfriend, something like that. And they are like, oh, this is why idols shouldn't date, or they shouldn't be caught dating. But in the case of San, I think that actually he thinks otherwise. He thinks that if he is in a relationship, or that if he is like in this commitment with someone, that it would add value, and it would add attractiveness to him, like it is sort of like, oh yes, like I am in a relationship, but I'm also devoted to my fans. This is why I say that he's very competitive. He loves to, I don't know how to say it in English, but he loves to cause a bit of drama. He loves to, like not make you feel like, oh, because you are with him, like you already have him. Probably you do, because he is a softie inside. He's a Cancer Sun, so he is a softie inside. He probably wants to be with the same person forever if he finds the one. But he also wants to have this very dramatic kind of interactions where you're like, oh, I'm afraid I'm going to lose you, or oh, I'm jealous of you, or you are jealous of me, and we are apart, and now we see each other, and now we don't. This sort of pull, this sort of tension. He loves that. And then, yes, unrequited love. Yes, I think that, this is funny, because I think that if you're like, why would you find unrequited love ideal? But I think that actually he wants to face a few, like, challenges in the process of getting to that person. It's like he finds that very attractive, and probably the other person acting like they don't care about him, or that his love is not correspondent, that you don't feel the same, or you acting a bit indifferent towards him, is actually what makes him pursue you the most. Like there's this sense that actually, and it's funny because he does have self-awareness. This is why the cards are here. He definitely knows himself, and he knows that he can be a bit like weird, that for him it's like no pain, no gain. He wants to suffer a bit. He wants to, like, go through those very traumatic breakups and then get back together. And, this sort of like very high level emotions, like very volatile, very, but not aggressive relationships, or abusive relationships, or relationship where you actually disrespect each other. No, this is a sort of role play. This is not like a permission for you to be mean to me on purpose, or for you to be aggressive with me, or for you to disrespect me. This is actually a way of actually showing you that I am not hurt, I am not easy to get, and that you are not easy to get either. Like, even though we are together, we are going to have our ups and downs, and I'm going to give my all to give this sort of adrenaline rush, and it's really interesting. This is the first time I read a sort of energy like this, and I feel like I'm reading like a fanfic or something like that. But it's actually what his energy is showing me, and probably I think that he probably is inspired by some kind of movie or something where, you know, the relationship is a bit chaotic, or it's a bit like, you know, two people that are meant to be, but they face all these struggles and all these people opposing them. You know, I think this is why I think that actually being an idol and having the possibility to be in love, for him it's ideal, because he's like, oh yes, I have to protect my idol life or my idol status, but at the same time I want to be with you. And you know, there's this sort of sense of drama, which is very funny. It's very funny how he, like how his energy is like guiding me through the narration, and it actually does make sense that, you know, some people actually love this, and I'm glad that he's able to sort of like, you know, like energy through energy. He's like, it's like we are forming this sort of puzzle of what he finds ideal, and I think that this is very interesting. I like it. I like it for him. I hope he finds it. So yes, no dual moments with Sun, of course. And yes, guys, this is all I have for him. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.